Imagine driving along a motorway and encountering another car coming at you in the wrong direction. What would go through your head in the split second as events unfold? Unfortunately, we begin our programme today with the tragic events on the M6 near Moate yesterday afternoon, during which a lady in her 60s was killed. Jimmy McCarthy is the Regional Traffic Inspector for the Midlands. Jimmy, you're very welcome to the programme. Can you take us through what happened?
Yesterday afternoon, sometime before 3 o'clock, around 2:45, a car described as a small navy Volkswagen Polo entered the M6 near Athlone town and headed east on the westbound lane. Despite a number of cars on the westbound lane heading on the westbound lane, the car managed to travel a distance on the motorway, we believe maybe 6, 7, 8 miles at this stage. The call came into Athlone Garda station. A patrol car was dispatched out to it. It came across the car. It tried to stop the car. There was one driver and a female. The car continued on past the patrol car, and despite other motorists trying to stop the car, it continued on the motorway and unfortunately collided with a car heading westbound on the motorway. The impact was sometime before 3 o'clock.
What had the Garda car and indeed other motorists tried to do to bring this vehicle to a halt?
Well, when the Garda car met the car on the motorway, it stopped on the motorway, and one of the guards got out of the car to wave the person down, and the car seemed to slow down somewhat, but it came up to the guard and then just drove around the guard and continued on, and the guard went after the car because there was other cars, a build-up of cars behind the patrol car, but it managed to weave its way through the traffic and continue on its way. And even a motorist got out of the car, a male motorist got out of the car and tried to talk to the driver. And actually this morning I would appeal to that motorist if they could come forward. And indeed, any motorist, the guards in Athlone have received a number of calls from witnesses who observed this car on the motorway, but I would appeal this morning for any other witnesses who observed this car prior to the impact, and also where the accident happened, if there was witnesses to the actual accident. We have a number of witnesses already, but there are a number of other witnesses that we would appeal to this morning to come forward.
And to clarify, Inspector McCarthy, was the vehicle in the carriageway as such, or was it on the hard shoulder?
It was in the carriageway.
And was it in the fast lane or the slow lane?
That's why I would like more motorists to come forward here this morning. If you can picture this car going the wrong way down a motorway and cars trying to avoid it. So that's why I would appeal to motorists to come forward so we can get a better picture as to what manoeuvres precisely that this car took on the motorway.
But you and your colleagues, motorists, there was an extensive effort to draw the attention of the driver to the fact that she was driving the wrong way along the motorway. In your view, could it have been confusion, or what do you suspect at this stage was behind it?
At this stage, it's too early to say what's behind it. There's no doubt that the person should have been aware that they were on the wrong side of the motorway, because there was a lot of people flashing lights at the car. The patrol car had its blue lights on. The guard got out, put his hand up to stop the car. So, I mean, the person should have been in no doubt as to, that they were being warned that they were on the incorrect lane. So, at this stage, it's too early to say what caused this person to drive on the incorrect side of the motorway.
Unfortunately, there was eventually an impact. This driver lost their life. Another motorist was injured. Do you know the condition of that other motorist today?
Yes, I do. As of this morning, the motorist is stable in Tullamore Hospital. Is on a ventilator, and I'm told that the hospital authorities are satisfied with her progress at this stage. And that's all I can say about the motorist.
What was the scene like?
The scene, the impact was, as you're heading west, it was literally on the fast lane. Both cars were buried in each other. It was almost a head-on collision. So, the scene was horrific. But the emergency services were at the scene fairly quickly, and the road was eventually opened last night at 10:30.
And was it a difficult operation to remove the occupants from the car? Had the cars been mangled to that extent?
No, the fire authorities were on the scene fairly quickly, and using their equipment were able to get both people from their cars.
So at this stage, you're trying to piece together what happened, and you're really appealing for information from anybody who saw those events yesterday afternoon to come forward and help you assemble this jigsaw.
That's correct, and in particular, we're anxious to find out precisely what part of the motorway, the M6 motorway in Athlone, what part of the motorway they first came onto the motorway. So we're appealing to witnesses who saw that car, described as a small navy Volkswagen Polo, drive onto the M6 motorway close to Athlone town. We understand it may be close to the roadworks, but we're not too sure at the moment. So any witness that saw the car come onto the M6 motorway, drive eastbound on the westbound lane for a number of miles, and also who observed the actual collision.
Just on one final point, whatever about persisting in driving along the motorway, how often would somebody inadvertently take the off-ramp and then discover that they are on the wrong lane in the wrong direction and so on, and turn around? Would you get a report like that fairly often? Yes, we would. The motorways are new to the Midland region, and between the M4, M6, M7 and M9, it has happened over the last 12 months, 18 months. And generally when the call comes into the Garda station, if a car call is on the scene fairly quickly, people realise sometimes it can be a simple mistake for people to make, particularly late at night for elderly people who are driving. And thank God, they have in each case that we've had over the last number of months, the person hasn't got too far on the motorway before they've been stopped. And in your view, though, does it raise a question about the adequacy of signage on those lanes to inform you you're going the wrong way? Well, most of the ramps have a sign saying wrong way, turn back. So it doesn't appear to be an issue at this stage. And you're satisfied that there's sufficient warning for people? At the moment I am, yes. Jimmy, if anybody has information, is there a special contact number, or how would you like them to get in touch? If they could call Athlone Garda Station. Sorry. Call Athlone Garda Station. Sorry, I missed you there for a minute. Yes, if they could just call Athlone Garda Station, where a book has been opened there, and all records in relation to this accident are being investigated. Regional Traffic Inspector Jimmy McCarthy, thanks for taking our phone call this morning. Thanks. Now, 083 30 10 103 is our text line. A lot of reaction, as you could imagine, from people who say that they have come across motorists driving occasionally in the wrong direction on the motorway, albeit very briefly, that as soon as people notice oncoming cars, they cop pretty quickly that they're going the wrong way. So what happened yesterday, we may never know. Again, 083 30 10 103 is our text line. And if you have made the mistake yourself, how did it happen? Were you just confused? Were you unfamiliar with the area? Was there maybe insufficient signage to tell you that you were heading down an off-ramp as opposed to an on-ramp? I'd like to hear from you, and let's see if there's anything that can be learned from the unfortunate and tragic experiences yesterday.